to the extent that there was already a pre-existing sort of like sense among the Democratic electorate of like, just tell us who's going to win, we'll vote for that guy. Now I think that's been exacerbated by this whole coronavirus thing. Like, I don't have time to invest in this fight. This, and this just sort of this, not even this fight. Like, I don't have time to invest in this question. That's just my sense. I hope I'm wrong. And who knows what's going to happen with the election on Tuesday, tomorrow. You got 4 states, Arizona, Florida. A lot of elderly people. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. Let's go over the debate. So in the debate, what is this? What number clip is this? This is number 1? Yeah. One interesting moment, and this is a moment, frankly, that I think, like, look, Joe Biden got up there and he just told bald-faced lies about his record on Social Security. Just totally bald-faced lies.
And Iraq.
And Iraq as well. I mean, we've covered these things. And frankly, like, in the age of Trump, right? Like, you would want a little bit more, less on, like, even if it was something like, look, I made a mistake. I made a mistake with Iraq. When I proposed those Social Security cuts, it was a different era. We didn't have the same wealth disparity. We didn't have the same disparity. I mean, you could come up with a whole bunch of other sort of like, not so much lies, but fudges a little bit. In 1986, we had, there was a crunch when it came to the Social Security benefits. There was a lot of deficit hysteria, and I got caught up in it, but he just lied about it. He lied about it and actually said, you're lying about my lying. Here is a moment where I think Joe Biden tried to lie as a way of deflecting. And instead of doing the classic, like, look, I'm not going to unilaterally disarm. You have a lot more money than me. I don't know where that comes from. And, Bernie would say, you could look at my website. But nevertheless, you have a lot more money than I do. I'm trying to keep my money low. That's why I'm only taking super PAC money. Whatever. He come up with some other explanation. Instead, he throws a lie and Bernie calls him on it, but maybe not hard enough.
Create an economy that works for all.
You want to do that? Do what I proposed over 30 years ago. Federally fund all elections. No private contributions in the election process. If you want to do that, join me. Join me in my constitutional amendment that I've been proposing. Maybe you and I can work on that together, because that would fundamentally change it. And the implication is I've not accepted a contribution from anybody over $2,800, number one. My average contribution is $44. Just this month, I've raised $33 million. Average contribution, $51.
Pause it.
The idea that...
Now, why is he doing this? This is something that he sat down and memorized. And it was very important for him to show that he was competent by throwing out these numbers. He's got this down. In fact, I'm not convinced that he didn't walk right up to the podium when they got on there and wrote it down on his notes. Maybe they're allowed to bring notes.
Average contribution, $51. The idea that this is Bernie's implication is somehow I'm being funded by millionaires. Bernie, look, in the last Super Tuesday and before that, Bernie outspent me 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 1. And I still won. I didn't have any money. And I still won.
Senator Sanders? It's good that you had an idea 30 years ago. I don't want to join you. Why don't you join me? Why don't you get rid of the super PAC that you have right now, which is running very ugly negative ads about me, by the way. Don't laugh, Joe. That's just the truth. And they got 2 other super PACs running ads against us. Why don't you just say right now, go on television and say, hey, you know what? I think in the past, Joe, if I'm not mistaken, you condemned super PACs. Is that correct?
You get rid of the 9 super PACs you have?
I don't have 9 super. I don't have any super
9.
PACs.
You want me to list them?
No. Yeah, you go ahead and list them.
Okay, come on. Give me a break.
No, I won't give you a break on this one, Joe.
Wait, now keep going. Do we have more after that? He goes, because I just want you to see, like, he should have gone after those 9.
Correct.
You get rid of the 9 super PACs you have?
I don't have 9 super. I don't have
You
any
have
super
9.
PACs.
You want me to list them?
No, yeah, you go ahead and list them.
Okay, come on. Give me a break. Come
No, I won't give you a break on this one, Joe. You condemn super PACs. You got a super PAC is running negative. But here's the point. This is the point. In the richest country in the history of the world.
Okay, pause it. And look, I think this is a big missed opportunity. I mean, Joe Biden has just lied about how many super PACs are supporting Bernie. And we do have a list of 3 super PACs.
Oh, no.
Yeah, are you ready for this?
Oh, no. Everything I thought
One
about
is,
Bernie.
where is this? Oh, here it is. Okay. You ready for this, ladies and gentlemen? The super PACs that support Bernie Sanders. The Sunrise Movement. That is the climate change, the youth climate change activists. I mean, I mean, it is, and a super PAC affiliated with the National Nurses Union. And then also Our Revolution. Our Revolution took only 6 donations over $5,000 in 2019 and none larger than $25,000. It also posts all the names of all donors who give more than $250. All right. So aside from the fact that it's a lie about,
I think there was a nurses PAC too, right?
right? I said the nurses
Oh,
union.
yeah, okay.
So there were 3 technically super PACs. What I would have done if I was Bernie Sanders, they're like, wait, Joe, you say I had 9 super PACs? Why don't you tell everybody all 9? Get out of here, guy. No, I'm serious. You're going to make this accusation, which is a lie. I want to hear about it because I've never heard this before. You tell us, Joe. I'll tell you what, name 8. Get out of here. How about name 7? How about name 6? How about name 5? How about name 4? How about name 3? This is the problem, Joe, is you say things and sometimes they turn out not to be true. Like that time you got arrested in South Africa. Or like that time that you weren't on the Senate floor calling for the cuts in Social Security. Or that you didn't know what you were voting for in Iraq, even though you praised him 3 months later, George Bush, and said that we needed to go in. That was the moment, folks. That was the moment. Now, I don't know if Bernie Sanders just was not, that's not what he wanted to do, that he felt that would be too much. But if you wanted a moment where you could roll all the things into it which show his weaknesses and perhaps get him to flub, which is what needed to happen, there needed to be basically an unforced error that was in some way nudged. Well, it didn't need to be nudged, but this was a perfect opportunity for Sanders to nudge that unforced error because he was making a lie and he was attacking Sanders in a completely illegitimate way. And Sanders just did not take advantage of that moment.
It's not Sanders' character.
It's not his character. It is not his character, I can tell you. I am sure that he was being...
Just like they don't care about your damn emails.
Exactly. I'm sure he was being advised. But... and it's unfortunate from my perspective that it's not his character, but maybe he wouldn't be the same, It's hard to sort of pick and choose. Particularly when you're talking about people in their 70s. Very hard to sort of say like, hey, you know that part that you've been riding on for the past, 60 years that has made you who you are? Will you just jettison one little tiny part of that? But that's that.